Oh, good evening, guys. Tush coming at you. It's Wednesday, November the 6th, and just coming up to, oh, what is it, about 5:30 or so? Yeah, 5:30. And we're just out in the garage doing a little bit of organization. We're going to get rid of these cases off the BMW, and I've still got the saddlebags off the Drifter over here on the floor, so we're going to start cleaning the garage out and trying to organize this a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit like the grasshopper and the ant tonight. So if you don't know that story, you might have to look it up. But winter is fast approaching here. It's actually calling for snow tonight. And looking at the future forecast, the temperatures don't really go above 0 during the daytime or overnight. And I still haven't insulated my garage doors. So I'm going to have to keep a watch out here until that point, until I can actually get out here and insulate the doors. I got to make sure that all my chemicals and my paints don't freeze that I have stored in the cupboards over there. So we'll keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, like I said, we want to get this organized a little bit more and move some stuff out of the garage into the safety of the basement. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Trying to figure out what I want to do as far as the motorcycles are concerned. I was thinking about moving the BMW outside under my my bike barn at the side of the house and getting that covered up for winter. I also thought about possibly bringing the Drifter in here for the winter time. I'm a little bit concerned about the Drifter as it's a water-cooled bike, and I've never really actually checked the coolant concentration, so I'm a little bit concerned about leaving it outside in the winter conditions here, that it might actually freeze and crack the block. The BMW is obviously oil cooled, so I wouldn't have that issue storing that outside. But the other option for me is to actually store both of these in my covered trailer in storage. So we're trying to figure out what we want to do with the bikes. We've left it a little bit late, obviously, to do that. Even, you know, riding the Drifter up. Obviously, this bike is not rideable. The BMW is not rideable. I haven't safety. They're certified. I haven't got a plate for it yet. That's going to wait till the spring. But the Drifter I could technically drive up to storage and put that in the back of the trailer. Or I could bring the trailer here and put both bikes in and drive it back up. So I've got some thinking to do in the next few days before it gets too bad outside and then the weather gets too cold. But in the meantime, like I said, I'm rambling now, but we'll get some stuff put away and get this a little bit more organized out here anyway. Alright, I think I can work with the bike in the corner there. I still have access to my light switch over there. And I do have access to my garage door if I need to open it. Obviously, I can move the bike on the rolling dolly. I would have preferred to have it up on a center stand, but the rolling dolly will have to do in case I need to move the bike around. I'm planning on getting new tires for it in the spring anyway, so I'm not worried about really flat spotting the tires. I would prefer it on the center stand, as the side stand is a little more spindly than what the center stand is, but hey, can't have everything. So I think that'll be good there. So we'll cover that up with a couple of different layers, and we'll revisit that closer to the spring. I have started ordering parts for it, mostly brake parts at the moment, brake lines and brake pads, and we'll figure what else we need when we get closer to spring, like I'd mentioned. The gas in that bike is horrible. It stinks this garage up, so if it wasn't such an ordeal to remove the tank, I'd probably have drained the tank already. But anyway, you got to take all the plastics off to get to the tank, so that'll be another spring project. It's not going to hurt it sitting there. It's already bad gas that's in it, so another 3 or 4 months before I actually start working on the bike is not going to hurt. I told you it was going to snow, right? So technically the first snowfall of the year. Not much you'll be able to see. A little bit on the truck. It's supposed to be a little hazardous commute tomorrow morning. First snow of the year usually brings out all the idiots. So, anyway, the snow has returned. Well, good Thursday morning, and as predicted, we did get some snow overnight. Pretty heavy snow, nice and wet. It was stuck to the trees pretty well, stuck to the cars pretty well. Like a winter wonderland out here. anyway, gotta brush the car off once I find the brush. Hopefully it's still in the trunk. That's it for this morning. We're on our way to Ottawa. So we're back on Saturday afternoon and hopefully back in the garage on Sunday. Alright, that's it for now. Afternoon, it's Tuesday, November the 12th, and still haven't had a chance to get back into the garage. Spent last Thursday to Sunday in Ottawa, and it's now Tuesday, and we're on our way to Calgary, but we gotta do some shoveling and some digging out of the cars before we head to the airport. So anyway, not a good omen as far as snow is concerned. It's quite a bit of snow. We've had 2 pretty good snowfalls already early November, so kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, start the car up, get the brush out, clean the cars off. Back in the garage hopefully by the weekend. Alright. Remember I mentioned grasshopper and the ant? This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, that'll have to do for now. I've just got them tucked back against the garage door. Temporarily anyway, at least they're inside. Makes me feel a little bit better about having them inside. Like I said, the other night it was -20, and I'm not sure about how the coolant is in the drifter. It is a liquid cooled bike, so I never checked how low I can bring it down to as far as temperature is concerned. You have to take the tank off to pretty much check the coolant, and that's something I wasn't going to do. I didn't have the time to do it. So anyway, they're safely in the garage for now. We'll try to tuck them away a little bit better, but we've kind of got a little bit of working space in the middle of the garage and just got those tucked up there. So that'll do for now. All right, move on to something else. All right, guys, Sunday, November 17th, just after 2 p.m. and back out in the garage. Got a little bit of time this afternoon. So I think it'd be a good time to break out the insulation and insulate these cracks in the garage doors that I do every year. You can see the light streaming through there, so we want to try to close that up a little bit best as possible. And on the other side, get some pretty good cracks and drafts coming in through there as well. So we do have an electric heater that we run out here just to keep it above zero. And it does help having my bedroom above me and on the other side of that wall behind all those bins. And that wall over there is my dining room and living room. So I've got some heat coming through the both the ceiling or the floor of my bedroom and through that wall. That helps to a little bit, but that's an outside wall over there. It's an outside wall over here, although that's drywall and insulated as well. So really it's the garage doors that kind of let this down a little bit. There's quite a few major gaps and cracks that we need to fill to keep it a little bit warmer and a little bit less expensive to heat out here. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll I guess push the bikes. And once I insulate the garage doors, that means that I guess the bikes are staying in here for the winter season, so we won't be opening the garages after we get the insulation done. So this is it. So we've got the bag of insulation here. Just got one bundle, I think, in here, pink fiberglass. So we'll go ahead and we'll fill those cracks. All right, just after 5 p.m. we've got the garages now insulated, and we've got the bikes tucked away where we want them to be. We've got another car cover I'm going to put over both bikes, and then we're going to probably wrap that with a piece of poly plastic to keep most of the dust off, hopefully, while I'm working on the cars in here. I still do plan on working on the cars. I still have enough floor space, I think, to do some work out here. Like I said, it's not going to be a ton of work, but any little bit of progress that I make on this car will be good. So we'll attempt to get out here when we can. So anyway, let me throw that car cover on, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, final update of the night. Just coming up to 5:30. So I think I'm comfortable now as far as getting the garage set up so I can do some work in here. I do actually have a little bit of time this week, so I'm planning to be out here in short spurts anyway. And I think what I'll do is, because it's difficult to do body work over the winter time because it's so cold in the garage, it's hard to work with Bondo. And I don't necessarily think it's the best thing to do unless you've got the garage heated, consecutively. If I've got a period of time off, like a week, for example, I can sort of crank the garage up and have it heated continuously and have the body warmed up over a period of or a course of several days. If I'm only out here for the night, it's kind of hard to actually heat the garage up. I can heat the garage to make it comfortable enough, but obviously it's not going to heat the body work up to a point where I can actually do Bondo effectively. So that probably will have to wait until I have a bit more time, a couple of consecutive days that I can string together if I'm going to attempt to do body work. Having said that, there's lots of other areas that I can work on. I did get new hinges for the doors, so I want to actually affix those at some point. I actually want to put the door catch back on as well, and the door hardware, just so I can actually shut the door to check the body lines and to check the fitment. So we'll probably end up doing that at some point. So that'll be a bit of a day getting that all back together. I also want to fix this bonnet up here, where I sort of pointed it out in a previous video, where I've got some damage up here on this eyebrow that needs some rework. So obviously had some brazing done on it before, so I've got to do some reconstructive work here on the on this eyebrow here. And there's some other repairs I need to do on this bonnet. There's some welding repairs up here where we made some cuts that I need to fix up. There's one there. There's a little one here that I need to weld up, as well as a few other areas that I need to weld. So we can definitely do that. And I'm sure there's other areas I want to look at. I've got this old front, I don't know if you want to call this a valence piece, where on my car, the top of this piece is pretty severely dented. So I'm thinking of actually taking a piece out of this old piece that I kept and grafting it in to fix that bent up piece in the front. So that's another area that I'm going to have a look at. I also need to still drill holes for the headlight, signal light. For the TR250, I have a TR4 fender on the other side that needs to be drilled. These holes need to be enlarged. This was a repair area. I don't know if you recall that from one of my older videos, but this hole needs to be significantly larger as well. It used to look something like that, which is an original TR250 fender. So we've got to do that, as well as drill all the rivet holes to hold the trim strip on the other fender as well. So that'll take a little bit of time. So there's a bunch of jobs that I can do without necessarily having to do body work. So we'll try to get out here and knock those off one by one in the next week or so. And hopefully we can make a little bit of progress on this car. So that's about it for now, guys. So stay tuned. You're going to find that my videos are kind of sporadic over the next little while. And they're probably going to be videos that may have varying content, but are probably going to be taken like an hour at a time per day. So it could be a week or two before I get one video out, once I patch or stitch all of the videos together. So be it. That's got to be it. If I get any work done on this car at all, I'll make sure I record it. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.